Thank you for joining us for the Advancing Oceanside podcast, brought to you by the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce. The Advancing Oceanside podcast hosts business and community leaders from all industries to help inform, better educate, and ultimately advocate for a prosperous economic climate here in Oceanside. Today on the Advancing Oceanside podcast, we're diving into a hot topic for small businesses, social media marketing. Joining us is small business owner and social media expert Jacqueline Farkas, founder of Social Marketing Boutique. Jacqueline is passionate about educating and inspiring small business owners and specializes in designing creative content and developing marketing strategies. She is a creative business owner who is multi-passionate and great at what she does. In just under 30 minutes, Jacqueline provides small business owners with the tools they need to start their marketing strategies. And now, I hope you're ready to take notes. Social Marketing Boutique owner, Jacqueline Farkas. Thank you so much for joining us today for another episode of the Advancing Oceanside podcast. I'm so excited to be talking about this subject matter today. I'm very passionate. So we have with us Jacqueline Farkas with Social Marketing Boutique. Welcome, Jacqueline. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Hannah. I appreciate it, and I'm happy to be here.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, you obviously are in social media, you do marketing, something that I am in as well. So I'm extremely passionate about this topic and I'm excited to be able to have you on the show today. So let's just start. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into marketing and what makes you so passionate about it?
Yeah. Thank you, Hannah. So I am actually a working mom and, I recently started my small business, social marketing boutique. So I'm a marketing consultant and content creator. So I do definitely wear a lot of hats, but I'm very passionate as well. I live in North San Diego with my husband and 3-year-old son, as well as a 6-year-old French bulldog. So we love her so much. She's part of our family, definitely. I'm an extrovert and an Enneagram type 1. For any of you Enneagram lovers out there or followers, I definitely thrive on connection. And I'm a very big creative. So that's a small bit about me. I've always had an eye for creativity and an entrepreneurial spirit. So, I just wanted to go into that next and kind of explain my background and just a little bit more about my background.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm an extrovert as well. So I think we kind of have those connect on those same levels and the creative aspect too. So that's amazing. Before we get too much into detail of content creation and everything that you do, your business focuses on social marketing and content creation. And could you just briefly explain the why behind your business and then also touch on what social marketing is and what content creation is? Because I think there's a lot of questions around that.
Yeah, definitely. So, to give a little bit of background, first off, I wanted to focus in on, I'm a creative business owner. And what that means is I'm very multi-passionate. So I have a lot of passions. I can't just narrow one down and say, I only do social media marketing. I am very creative and creative with the content creation piece and also inspiring business owners. And then my second passion is also to help them with marketing strategies, and educate business owners. So just a little bit about that. Social marketing, great topic. One of my favorites to talk about and explain because I feel like sometimes it could be misunderstood. The actual definition of social marketing is actually marketing that's designed to create social change. Right? That's definitely a mouthful of what that is. But to give you some insight to that, there's the traditional marketing techniques, but really focusing in on building marketing awareness. Giving a solution to a problem. And then connecting with your audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you hit on you're a creative business owner because, especially when it comes to marketing, there's so many different avenues that people can take and so many different things that businesses can utilize. And it really comes down to figuring out exactly what's going to work for someone, content, messaging, what strategy to use. So I think that's a really important aspect of your business.
Yes,
Um,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no. I was just going to go to the next question, but feel free to chime in.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to be honest, I feel like creative being a creative business owner is not talked about enough. And really the passion behind the work and the work ethic. I believe everyone's a hard worker, but there's something about being creative, that creative energy, that does need to be valued. There's a certain value behind it, that people should be aware of, and really understand that not everybody is a creative uh, person. So that creative technique that's used in the marketing that I do, it does take a lot of time. It's not just a simple sketch, or idea brainstorming session. It actually is a lot more, than people realize. And I'm happy to be here today to explain what goes into it, and hopefully inspire some small business owners and entrepreneurs to follow their passion, and own that creativity that you have, um, and even learn to be creative. It's totally fine, if you're just learning, but why not give it a try, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And going off of that creativity too, sorry, I'll add one more thing is the biggest thing I sometimes struggle when I'm creating something is I look at it too much and I hate it. And I just every aspect I'm like, I hate it. So I go to bed and I wake up and whatever happens to me during my sleep, I come back with something brand new that I love in the morning. So for any creatives out there, I think that might be a good tip if you're struggling with writer's block or creative block, whatever you may
Hmm.
refer to it as. So your small business is called Social Marketing Boutique. Can you talk to us a little bit about why you chose that name and then also some goals that you have for your small business?
Yeah, so I love this question, and I think it gives me an opportunity to explain to some people who don't know me or my business. What does that mean? So the social part of my name, so social is actually that I provide authentic connection, with marketing content and my strategies. And then the marketing boutique is really, emphasizing the quality marketing services and strategy that I provide, um, to help uh, small business owners build their online presence in an informative way. So I know that's a mouthful, but it's definitely important to talk about that, because there is a difference between a marketing boutique versus a marketing agency. And I do get that question often, why not a marketing agency? Because, I specialize in specific techniques and services. And then, of course, I have outsourcing partners that I work with to be able to help provide, SEO services or other services that I don't provide.
Perfect. And we'll get into that authenticity aspect of it a little bit later in the interview, but I love that.
Yeah. And then you asked me what are some of my goals?
Mhm.
So I'd say my goals and strengths. So my strength is definitely, being able to easily connect with people authentically. And that allows me to understand my customers' needs and help identify their business goals. And my goal, as a business owner, is to provide high quality client experience, which entails a lot of details, but it's really not difficult. If you think about it in a different way, I believe in building long lasting partnerships with my clients, and everybody that I meet, rather than a one time customer, because I understand their needs, business goals, and passions.
Let's talk about small businesses now. And you work with small businesses. So, what are some mistakes you see small businesses making in their online marketing strategies?
Yeah, great question. So, a couple of things that I see and I notice, is that sometimes businesses are not following or building a social media strategy. They're kind of just going with the flow, taking it a little bit too laid back, in my opinion, sometimes, and not having a strategy at all, which can actually harm your business and also the audience involved. Believe it or not, your audience online is actually very, very valuable. And they're like family. They really can become like family. You get to know them on a deeper level than maybe your own siblings, because you see them all the time online when you may not see a sibling, every day. So it's important to, treat them with a lot of respect and also get on a deeper level in connecting with them. So that's one tip. And another one would be, start with personal branding and storytelling techniques. Really, people crave genuine connection. There's no question about that. But how you formulate your story, focus on the why. Like, why are you doing what you do? Why are you so passionate? And really move through the eyes of your ideal client first and what they want to see, before what you want to put out there. Think of them first. I definitely would suggest that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you hit on the idea that your social audience is so important, even if you've never met them. I mean, you see influencers doing this all the time, is making sure they respond to all the DMs they get and respond to the comments. But even for small businesses, and what I've learned by managing the Chambers account is you have to respond to those comments. You have to do something, no matter what it is. And those people do end up returning to your page, not only because the algorithm allows for it, but those relationships are really important and really personal. So I love that you hit on that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stress it enough. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so important to build that genuine connection,
Mm-hmm.
because it actually does lead to sales. Believe it or not, taking that extra, 5 seconds
Yeah.
here, commenting, showing them some love on social media,
Mm-hmm.
it'll get returned right back to you. You just have to put the effort, and some simple effort is all that's needed really in the beginning, because it can be overwhelming. But I've seen a lot of instances where it was just the littlest, slightest pinpoint that really helps a small business grow, and flourish, and really gain momentum.
So continuing on with the small business topic, what are some simple platforms that small businesses can use to create content or help them manage their social media accounts?
Yeah, so I love this topic. I think it's very important to know what tools are out there. And the first one I highly recommend is Canva. There is a free account that any small business owner can sign up for, to get started right away. And they also have a trial to the pro version, which is a little bit of an upgrade, gives you some more benefits in there. I use that myself and also for my clients to build content, special graphics, and also incorporate the logos, for their businesses within the content. So it's a great tool. And also, Unsplash is a website to be able to get free stock photos. So professionally, can be on brand. If you're not able to get a professional photographer to do some branding photos, I highly recommend using Unsplash as a second option for content. Another great one is Asana. Asana is a project management system. It's great for quarterly business planning and project planning, which I love and I use all day long with my clients. And lastly, plan. Forgive me for saying this. It's a tongue twister. Planoli. Sorry, Planoli. Sounds like a French pastry. So,
It does.
but you can't miss that one. And that is for your scheduling, planning, drafting, and analyzing social media data. It's going to be your best friend, honestly. If you don't have time to manually post, you can actually schedule and draft your posts in advance, for content creation and consistency. One feature I do love is the hashtag group. So check that out if you're in there. And there's also a free account available. So I highly recommend checking that out, being able to get your hashtags all in order. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but get your hashtag group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Canva has been a lifesaver for me who came in with marketing background, but not a background in graphic design at all whatsoever. And in fact, the Advancing Oceanside cover art is all created through Canva. So all of that stuff is right there. It's really easy to use. So I love that that was the first one that you brought up was use Canva. It's not intimidating.
Amazing. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be your best friend, especially if you're not a graphic designer or don't have
Mhm.
design skills. It's very easy to use, and there's a lot of actually pre-made templates that are already in there,
Mhm.
and you just insert your logo or some text, and you're ready to go. So it's really not that time consuming as people may fear.
Exactly. Absolutely. 100% agree. Um, So, shifting over to businesses and their online presence, what are some ways that they can help grow their online presence?
Yes. So great question. Um, I always believe in, leading with quality content over quantity. You shouldn't just want to post, to keep up with the social media world. I think there's, a lot of misconception about I got to get, all my posts out and keep up with my competition. But really, what people are looking for is the quality. Is your content informational? Is it fun? Is it funny? Is it a storytelling element in there? What are you bringing to the table that's different than, maybe your competition?
Yeah, absolutely. And should businesses be on all social platforms, or is it better just to focus on a select few and make sure those are built up really well?
Yeah, I would suggest only focusing on one social media platform at a time, and just one for the main focus of your time. Actually, posting consistently each week on one platform is more beneficial and will help grow your audience faster. And what small business owners can do is actually repurpose their content on another platform, say LinkedIn. You can then elaborate on that topic and even do a video or a different type of content. If it's not social media posts, graphic wise, you can do a video or a blog post. So just some ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also love making sure that the content you're posting on whatever platform is geared towards that audience. For example, with the chamber, although our Facebook has obviously a lot of information, I do try to make sure Facebook is more community focused or events or things of that nature, understanding that that's the audience on there. While LinkedIn, I do try to share a little bit more of business stories or webinars or things that other businesses might be interested in. So blog posts, like you mentioned, for that might be beneficial.
Exactly. Yes,
Uh,
I agree, and it is beneficial to put the right type of content, on the right platform,
yeah,
because some people may not pay attention. If it's
exactly.
just something that doesn't excite them, they're just going to move on.
Right. Exactly. Um, so now getting into a topic that you and I discussed when we had our brainstorming session for this is storytelling. And this was both something that was really important to the two of us. So what is social media storytelling and how can a business incorporate that into their marketing strategy?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love this topic, and I could literally talk all day about, you know, how to do it, what to do, and just, the strategy behind it. Um, but I think, it all comes down to how do you tell your story, the way you tell your story. People want to feel connected and they want to feel like they belong, which is definitely where the sense of community comes in to storytelling. Um, you want to present a story that's inspirational, gives somebody courage to take the next step, even, help them conquer a fear, which I've seen a lot with, podcast content, right? That's a huge one. But also on social media, it can be done in design, with a simple photo and a caption can actually, you can tell a very captivating story just by your wording of it. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy or long or stressful, but it's just about how you tell your story and how you own it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that also connects back to our other question about how important it is to engage with your audience. So not only is commenting, liking, responding to DMs, things like that important, but also the content that you share can create a personal reaction with someone and then create some sort of relationship, which would eventually, hopefully, lead to sales or just increased engagement, which is equally as important to any social platform. So I love that idea of storytelling as well.
Yes, I think it's so important to, start a story, even if it's something very basic and maybe even silly to you that
Hmm.
you don't want to share, but really someone out there, in your audience will appreciate it and they will thank you for it. They might, even reach out to you on a
Right.
personal level and say, hey, thank you so much for sharing your story. And I've actually, gosh, how many times have I done that where I've read somebody's story
Hmm.
on my social media platform, non-business related, and I
Hmm.
reached out to them. I commented and I messaged and I said, thank you for sharing your story and being so real.
Right.
Now I feel confident to do, whatever it is, my, set out on my goals
Right.
and really conquer my fears. So I
Mhm.
believe in 100%, and it's never too late. It's never too early to share your story.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you've gone over a lot of stuff with us here today. If a business is interested in anything that you're doing or wants to get in contact with you, how can they reach you?
Yeah, so I am definitely, on Instagram and LinkedIn as far as social platforms go. Facebook as well, but heavily on Instagram. But my website, I would say, is a great place and resource for, new new business owners and potential customers to reach me would be social-marketingstrategy.com. So that's my website. And on social media, my Instagram account is social content strategy. So that's the two places you can find me. My website does go into detail about the services I offer. And I did feel like I did a pretty good job designing it myself for being a small business owner and the most valuable thing was branding photos. A branding photo shoot that will last a lifetime. So you small business owners out there, I highly recommend updating your headshots. It's definitely worth it in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did visit your website prior to
Yeah.
this to kind of learn more about you and what you do. And I will say you did an excellent job making sure that all the content was there and all the information. And then also, of course, the headshots that you were talking about, I see them across all platforms and it's super easy to recognize you. And I know, oh, okay, that's from Jacqueline or that's whatever from her. So
Mhm.
I second that right there.
I
Um,
appreciate that. Mhm.
yeah, we also have an upcoming webinar with you that we're super excited about. Can you give us some insights on the topics that you'll be covering during that?
Yeah, so I'm excited as well. I'm gonna definitely provide some more background about social media in the workshop, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an engaging social experience. I know that's you know can be very intriguing and like, what is that? So some quick um, topics that we're gonna cover. We're gonna learn the social trends, tips and strategies. So it's definitely going to be a note taking session, but also a fun one because there's going to be some brainstorming with other business owners. And you'll get to also learn how to optimize your social media profiles, across different platforms. So that will be helpful. And just really engage, ask questions, learn and brainstorm. Basically, you can even create, a content plan with all this brainstorming. I mean, you're going to leave with a lot of ideas and ways to implement them. That'll be the best part.
Yeah, absolutely. I know making sure everybody was engaged was a huge part of this webinar when you and I first met. So that engagement aspect is awesome. So all you businesses out there, come and enjoy and bring questions because Jacqueline will be there to be able to answer all of that good stuff for you and set you out on the right path. So one final question. What does it mean to you to advance Oceanside?
Yes, so I've been thinking about a lot about this question, and even been following the podcast recently, which has been great. You've done some great stories, and I believe that being part of the local community and helping other local businesses, in Oceanside, and also setting an example, for other business owners on what to do and how to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And just having spoken to you within our conversations, I know that you are passionate about our small business community, and Oceanside as a whole is passionate about their small business community. So I think that you fit into that perfectly. So Jacqueline, thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope all you guys can attend our webinar on May 21st at 9 a.m. It is open to everyone, so feel free to drop in and get all your questions answered with that. And just thank you again for being here and being open and discussing all of this with us, and I appreciate everything you shared with us today.
Thank you so much, Hannah, for having me, and I look forward to the workshop.
Absolutely. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Advancing Oceanside podcast, brought to you by the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce. Continue with us on our journey to help inform, better educate, and ultimately advocate for Oceanside. You can view all of our other podcasts on any podcast listening locations, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or visit our YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe to catch all the latest updates on all things Oceanside. Join us next week as we host another influential leader from our community.